it's your boy. We all back on another day. Clip foul. We here with Trev and Skylar and your boy Ed. So we're just guys on the Clipmas.
Yeah.
We're here with another topic. I think the reason why I brought it up is because, this year has been wild. This year has brought a lot of, self-isolation in figuring out what you want to do with your life. It gave you time to finally sit down and think. And as Dave Chappelle said in his clip with Joe Rogan, it gave you time to ask yourself, do you like your things? Do you like what you've accumulated over time? Do you like your choices? Do you like the things that you've done? And if not, maybe this is the time to switch up. Personally, I'm okay with my decisions. I've done pretty good this year and things like that. I'm building new stuff. Got a 3D printing channel on the way. You look out for that. You look at my Instagram. We're doing things. We got a podcast. This is insane. But I always ask myself, if you had to choose, if you had to really switch up your life and your whole career, what would it be now?
Right now, currently.
Thank you.
I don't know. I've had this thought too because I really like programming, but it just sucks sometimes.
Tell me what was your introductory in finding out that this is the thing that I do want to be my career?
Shit, I mean it was robotics. Like,
well, yeah, okay,
yeah. Yeah. Whenever it was weird like joining the robotics team too. I think I just did it on a whim. Like, I remember the first meeting. It was probably, I know Cooper was there. I don't know why I went, to be honest.
I remember, from my perspective, it was always, we were doing trebuchet.
Oh, yeah. Trebuchet was definitely a big fact. But shit, how did I start trebuchet? Like,
I don't know.
I really don't even know. I think maybe it was because of Holmes.
But I know. You were taking his class at that point?
Somehow Cooper and I, that would have been, I wasn't even in his class, I don't think, or freshman year.
Maybe it was one of those.
Was I mechatronics freshman year? No, I don't think I was. I was an engineering freshman year.
Yeah.
Shit, I really don't know how Cooper and I got into that, to be honest.
It was maybe because it was like right off the skip rock of the Odyssey of the Mind. You guys were building stuff then, and you guys were just like, fuck it, y'all could do it again.
Yeah, but I don't know how.
All I remember
don't know how it went to trebuchet,
when we were like, yo, y'all should come join robotics.
Yeah.
Y'all were like, we're joining the trebuchet team with Holmes. We were like, with Holmes? What? We do robotics.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. Because we kind of just did our own thing that year. Like, I knew there was a robotics team, and I knew you guys were doing it because you would be in the trebuchet room every now and then. But, I guess for that next year, I just decided to come because I saw that you guys were doing it. So I just showed up and did it that way. And then, I'm trying to remember, like, my first introduction to coding. I guess it probably just would have been in mechatronics. That doing, like, the little line bots and stuff.
Yeah, the maze.
And I was like, shit, I kind of like this. Yeah, I was like, this is fun. Like, just building, like, the little games in his class, like the Clawbot games and stuff. And so whenever, like, upgraded to, like, the actual Vex robotics programming, I was like, this shit go hard, bro. I was like, these games are fun, dude. It's really fun. It's fun to build and program, like, in terms of just thinking, like, I like having a plan. It's like, this is a goal. Like, the game was a goal. And I'm like, okay, we know how we can like design a robot in this certain way and then program it to do these things, and it just kind of clicked for me. And programming was just a fun way to, I don't know.
So from that to now today,
that's my thing, is that it's so much different. Like with the Vex programming, it's so much different than Java, which is what I'm doing now. And it's like I like programming and learning and implementing new concepts, but the learning of programming is so ass in a way. Like, I liked it in Vex where you could teach yourself, like, the overall goal was to make your robot run a certain way to be able to complete this game, to be able to beat other robots on the other team. And you could figure that out by just testing and troubleshooting and all this other stuff. But with Java, it's a lot of like creating interfaces, and it's harder to trial and error essentially because it's so big. Java is like a big fucking language. Whereas Robot C, there was like it was very concise, and like you had certain motors and sensors, and you knew going into it that you could use these certain things. Java is such a big language that you can do so many things in a variety of ways that it's like one programmer can make a whole interface, and it could be like, I don't know, like a coffee shop program was like one of the things we were doing, one programmer could do it a completely different way from another programmer just by using different syntax and stuff like that. So it's so vast, but what irks me is I don't know, just learning it. There's so much to learn and implement that it becomes overwhelming to a point.
Yeah, that's interesting as heck. When it comes to that programming thing, I didn't you know, it always reminds me of the time I said this, because I was a builder, I still am, and you don't get an appreciation for the programming until you're done building. I guess you're never really done, but once you have it like on a base and you just sat there and you look back and go, and you look over to your programmer and now they actually have something to do because they didn't really have anything to begin with, and they're like, damn, get on that clicky,
that's the thing that with building and programming, why it's a good relationship is that you can visualize kind of what the robot's going to look like. It may not be the end product, but you can start thinking about what you're going to program and like, okay, so we're going to have an arm and it's going to need to do this. And I'm like, I know how to write that. Yeah, I can do that.
We got better at that this third year. We really mastered that the last year because it was technically really just me and you. And we had like, Dougie and Carolina at the time that would kind of come in and help. Yeah. And it was literally just sitting and just talking and be like, this is what's going to happen with this robot. I'm going to get to fixing it so we're getting it together so we can do it, and you're going to just put in the motor, so by the time I'm done, we'll have something to upload, and then just straight out. It was synced. You know what I mean? I guess it was easier because it was less people, but it was also kind of harder because it was less people. Yeah.
Like we only had what ideas were spread between ourselves, and like having more people could have brought a little bit more of, I don't know, just some different content, I guess. Yeah. But I mean, we managed pretty well, I think, for sure.
Trev, you ever thought about? Well, yeah. Okay, we can get into why you chose your careers or whatever you want to do. But you ever thought
so okay, all right. So I misspoke. So yeah, I've never thought about what I wanted to do, like ever. But like I guess like, like when I went to NYU, right? I went for psychology because I like thought I was gonna be a psychologist, and I actually low-key still like love psychology. It's just the processes of the mind. It's understanding what's going on in your head, and like I just think that like this is why I talk about marketing a lot, because marketing is essentially I need to understand what these humans are going to react to with this ad or this product, and I need to be able to I need to know their reaction before they do it, and or I need to somehow chart it and try to figure out a new solution to get the reaction I'm looking for. So that's like the closest I could say of like thought of a career. Yeah. Because like I like psychology, and I like listening to people and then hearing what they have to say and then thinking about what could possibly be going on in their head. My whole thing is like I'm always like, man, I really don't know what people are thinking in their head. Like right now, like I'm speaking here, right? I'm always thinking about what other people are thinking in their head, and I'm just like, there's no way I can know. So I just have to sit there and just like, it just I don't know why it eats away at it, but I'm just like, man, if I just knew what they were thinking, I could just like, I don't know, do something with that. I don't know. It's just like a weird way I think about it. But on that same notion, it's like I say that because, like I've said before, like I don't really think about the exact words I'm going to say before I say it. I really don't think that aggressively about the things I do before I do them. But I know that there has to be something going on. But for me to be actively thinking to myself that I don't think about the things that I do is weird to me. And that's why I like psychology. I really just want to know what's wrong with me. Honestly.
I really like psychology too, honestly. I could see in another life where I was like, I don't know what I would do with psychology. I don't know if I'd want to be some kind of like therapist or...
I'd walk in like this. What's up, my dude? You doing all right? Yeah.
Walking with the slides.
I do really like trying to understand why people think a certain way, though. Not necessarily like trying to figure out their problems, but just the chemistry of the brain and why, what influences people's thoughts and stuff like that.
I'm really into cliches. I guess that's why. I mean, before psychology was always like, because we had that class
AP
and
Psych.
it was super cool.
It's hilarious.
But there was a part of it where in the class, there was a part in the class. Yo, shout out to all the AP psychology students out there.
Y'all know
crazy. There was a point in the class where I questioned if I actually gave a shit. Because it was like...
It's so funny because I wasn't even in that class, but I know that joke.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. But because the whole point was like, it felt like that humans were so cliche in a way that they do certain things that it didn't even matter if you knew the psychology. I guess it more mattered if you knew the history because they would find themselves in the same scenario again.
Yeah, we're definitely creatures of habit for sure.
Yeah, so it almost like it was almost like a cheat sheet. Like, why study this part of the brain, this, that, and this, therefore, if I could know the history and just know if someone was gonna. But it doesn't always work out that way because people have individuality, and I think that's the more deeper reason into getting into psychology. Because if you go to an individual and you can pick their brain deeper and deeper, you find the reasons why they are not the same as everyone. And I guess I kind of, with the history thing, you kind of find out that you want to clump them in a way that they are the same as everyone. But I don't know. I wanted to be an engineer.
Yeah, same actually. Like, that was I don't know why, but the architect thing was somewhere along the line. I can't remember exactly when, but then it was definitely engineer. And I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do with engineering. I thought mechanical at first, but I was like, I don't know.
I still like it.
I just found out with robotics that the building thing, I liked building, but it wasn't entirely like, I don't know, my mindset. It didn't click with me the way that programming did.
I've always, when I was a kid, my favorite superhero when I was a child was Green Lantern, because I don't think I realized it at the time, but to me, looking back, it was the fact that you could think something and then it'll be there. And like down to a helicopter, like you have to study a helicopter to have a functional helicopter. You know what I mean? Like I guess you could use your magic ring to make the wings fly. I mean, spin, but it wouldn't. They didn't make it like that. You would still have a guy like in a jet that they just created flying a jet. I don't know why they needed it, but you know what I'm saying. So like, it was always the idea that if I think hard enough or just think about it, I can make it in my head and then make it in real life. And I still do that to this day with 3D modeling. So CAD has been my way, the quicker way into getting into that mindset. Yeah, like it's my new ring, because I can literally I just know that I'm not a god and I have time that's what I have to use to create whatever I want, but I can just and then just have it. I just have it right there in my palm of my hand.